Well, this just looks like good old hunt. Well, that wasn't here before. Let's go and check it out. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're doing fine. So, I'm hyped. We will have Web of the Empress now in a few days. Now, I effed it up, so we know already the date of the event. So, there you go. As always, timestamps in the description below. There's a lot of things we will talk about. With Battle Pass rewards, we will talk a lot about the tarot cards because they are a big impact to the gameplay. Some of them are actually pretty bonkers. And with that, let's go straight to the Battle Pass rewards and talk about that because there are a few fancy skins in there. And because people always ask me how much the Battle Pass costs, the base Battle Pass is again 1000 BBs and the Battle Pass bundle costs 2040. Keep in mind, you get 600 BBs back for completing the Battle Pass. Yeah, and as always, I would say we start with the most interesting stuff, and that's gonna be the Battle Pass. So, you need 1000 BBs to unlock it and a little bit over 2000 to get the whole thing. Okay, now don't be confused about the timer in the top right, because this is recording from a test server footage. Alright, the moment you have the Battle Pass, you get the Storm Seer, and I said already in one of my trailer analysis videos that this one looks fantastic. I like it with the little runes and the scribbles or what that is at the back, and it just fits the game perfectly without any, you know, edgelord stuff. Next one, look at that, we have an uppercut. The one that I called falsely the conversion pistol, but maybe there will be a conversion pistol with that skin too. The splinter jaw, and it looks just fantastic. Next one, a base Vetterli. And it looks great. I can't remember the last time I saw people run a base Vetterli, but I'm all here for it. I think it looks amazing. Then a dynamite stick skin. So as you can see, I think the red paint is another spider on the stick here. Oh yeah, it is. We have, of course, webs and spiders. Will be a theme here. I know, what a surprise, am I right? Next one, we're gonna have a marathon, a regular one, the vertebrae, and yeah, dude, this rocks. This is. We almost have Halloween too, and I think that fits that style a little bit too, which is amazing. Then we have this one. This is a coin of Ume. No idea how to pronounce that. But yeah, weapon charms. You hate them or you love them or you don't care about them, which is fair. Next one, Vetterli Bayonet. Wow, with that red at the tip. So we do not have a lot of Vetterli Bayonets actually. There is one event skin. Then there is the one from Joe. So having now another Vetterli Bayonet skin, I think this is great. It looks awesome. I will play it. Vetterli is a really good all-rounder weapon. So here we go. Then we have some BBs. Nice, then we have a weapon animation for the Vetterli, the spider hand. Nice. Slightly. Okay, that is kind of cool. Next one, we're gonna have a base Mosin Nagant. The black silk, my god. Honestly, this is just gorgeous. So I'm a little bit surprised that we go a little bit old school here with Vetterli Bayonet, a Mosin. You know, nothing too crazy so far. Let's see what else we have in here. There we go. Yeah, that's a conversion pistol, but not the skin that I mentioned in the last trailer. Yeah, with the spider webbing at the handle and the paint job on the barrel. I like it. This one, I don't really know how often you will take that, because rarely people equip or bring a dynamite stick. But the boom flip, I would just equip it because you loot a lot of dynamite sticks. And hey, why not? Next one. We have the Centennial Shorty, the Indecision's End. Nice. I absolutely like this polished red wood there. The green is a bit... It has a lot of bling on it, doesn't it? I think it looks fancy. I like it. I don't know, but I will definitely equip it because I think so far the short Senny has mostly the clown skins. So hopefully we get one for the Marksman Tuna Battle Pass. Let's see. And now... Okay, I know, I'm somebody who is like, whatever when it comes to weapon charms, but that one is badass. I might actually put that on my weapon, because it looks pretty cool. Then, we have a Mosin Nagant Bayonet, same style as the Vetterli. So, not much more to say. A Vetterli Deadeye, in the, well, the Envenom skin. Beautiful. Lets you be camouflaged even more in the dark. Nice. Then, again, the Gucci drop. The short drop, actually. That's the actual name of this choke bomb. Dude, these things are crazy fancy. We have another 100 BBs. Then we have an uppercut precision. Again, in this bone theme. Wow, look at that. At that stock being absolutely destroyed. But okay. Maybe one day we can get an uppercut precision trauma or stuff like that. You could absolutely put a blade or the blunt attachment for trauma. That would be pretty dope. Then level 19, we have the Hanged Man. We saw him already in the trailer. He just wants to be prepared. He can have an execution whole day because he has... Yeah, he has enough rope for everybody. Next one. 20. A Vetterly Marksman. Again, the Envenom skin type. Sure. Another 100 BBs. There you go. And then, this one looks sick. Black Silk. So that's for the Mosin Sniper. Fancy. Absolutely adore that one. And then we have the Avenger's Oath. Now, is this the one? Yeah. I will avenge you. So sometimes the charms have a hidden message in the back. So there's definitely for some lore people something to discover here. And then beautiful. A Seni Shorty Silencer in the Decision's End style. My god, look at that. Fancy. Next one. I think I said fancy already a bazillion times. Oh, an equipment skin for the conversion for weapon jamming. You know, in case your gun jams and then they... No, I'm just kidding. There's no weapon jamming in Hunt. And I hope we will never get that. Because it's awful. Just see the reload bug times. Yeah, those were great. Then we have an Uppercut Precision Deadeye. Yep. I mean, it's the Uppercut Precision in the splintered jaw skin, just with the Deadeye scope attached to it. Another 100 BBs. Then we have a Wax Dynamite with the Waxed Burning Web. Sweet. A Chain Pistol. We have a lot of Chain Pistol skins, man. Like, really a lot. How many do we have? I lost track. You have some for the early access supporters too. And it looks good. So for Chain Pistol, you have really a lot of options. And then we're already at the last row, and I'm super happy about this one. I'm not playing it a lot, but right now we only have the Clown skin, and now we have a fancy one. So if I ever play the Centennial Pointman again, this is gonna be my skin. Another 100 BBs, beautiful, and then... My god. I love it because it's not just a reskin. They actually put more art on it with the web. Fantastic. It's a shame that you didn't revert completely the silencer nerfs because the crack silencer got out of hand, and that's why the Science Vetterly has to suffer for it. Yeah, I will not let this topic go. But hey, next one, Mosin Nagant. Spick and span. Okay, we gently touch our Mosin. We've all been there. Next one, we have the Marathon Swift. Yeah, so it's like the Marathon before, and now you have a Marathon Swift. Then we have a Vetterly Cyclone in the Envenom style. Wow. Okay. Now, I think that the Vetterly Cyclone right now is a little bit stupid with the 2-tap possibility since they increase the limp damage. But I would lie if this isn't badass. Just look with this red gem there at the end. Fancy. And then an Aftermath in Black Silk. Now, I'm not really an Aftermath enjoyer, but give credit where credit is due, and that thing looks like an absolute menace. We get another 100 BBs, and then here we go. We have the Empress, so it's a Hunter unlock. Yeah, I think well executed. For me, it looks a little bit like she jumped straight out of a comic. So, might just be me. Not my thing. I will play the other hunters. I like them a little bit more. Okay, and then we have the Fear and Beauty, a charm unlock for the extra points. And now I can already see in the comment section a question. Well, where are the other hunters from the teaser and from the trailer? I don't know. I assume they will be BBs or DLC, and they will come soon. Either with the event or later on. So, yeah, but in this Battle Pass, we have already some amazing skins. Now again, I'm a little bit disappointed that there is again no new tool, consumable or weapon in there. Not even a weapon variant. To be fair though, we will watch the rest of the footage today, or I will show you today the tarot cards, and with the, well, bile nests everywhere, there is enough content, so this time I don't mind it too much, but I hope with the next update we will also get a little bit more tools to play with. Well, we actually did get a few tools to play with this event. We're gonna talk about that later in a bit though. First, let's talk about where can you actually get the tarot cards. The easiest way to get them is to check out the Bileweavers Nest. There will always be 3 tarot cards available for you. And the cool thing about them, they cost no pledge marks. You just need an open consumable slot. So better rush to the Bileweavers Nest, because everybody else will probably do that too. I expect some crazy PvP moments around this new compound. There's also a chance that they spawn at web-covered locations around the map. But there are more ways to get the tarot cards. Another way to get the cards is the Dark Tribute. At the first Dark Tribute stage, you get 2 tarot cards and 1 tarot card at subsequent stages. So you will get 5 tarot cards each day. However, it's random what kind of tarot cards you will get. Additionally, you can loot them from dead hunters. Any tarot cards carried by dead hunters can be stolen when looting. Just keep in mind that again, you need a free consumable slot. And the last way to get a tarot card is Bounty Clash. Bounty Clash will always have 1 card right next to the Restoration Medkit. Alright, now let's talk about the specific cards. And let's start with the World card. That one is pretty straightforward, it reveals all boss targets. So that means Butcher, Assassin, Spider and Scrapbeak. Since Hell Daddy and Rodshaw are wild targets. The next one is the Sun card. And that one grants an increased regeneration buff for 60 seconds. Now, if you expect this is just a fancy regeneration shot for free, you are mistaken. That thing has quite some power. Why? First of all, it heals like crazy, and it does not get interrupted by taking damage. It just keeps ticking and ticking and ticking. Just be careful though, that any bleed will stop the regeneration. If you can time this card correctly, it will be crazy powerful for PvP. As long as you're not getting one-tapped by a shotgun. Next, let's talk about the Tower card. Kills AI or damages targets within a radius 65 meters. Your hunter catches on fire. And that one is crazy fun. The moment you use the card, everything gets set on fire and dies. And you probably realized it already yourself. It works like a shockwave with you at the center. And it destroys everything. Immolators are not safe, horses die, and it just looks absolutely crazy when you do a spin with Witness. Even stronger AI, such as the Meathead, get absolutely toasted by this card. And the tower is also pretty strong when it comes to killing bosses. As long as the boss is not enraged, you can two-shot them. Just keep in mind, this one does not work against enemy hunters. But still, this card is crazy fun, and whenever you stand in the middle of a compound, you play the card and you basically cleared the whole thing. Just make sure that you don't peek into a Sparks right after using that card. Next, we have the Fool. Copies the last tower card you used this mission. Since I just used the tower card, we will get 1 tower card in our inventory. Pretty straightforward, and you can combine it with a few other cards to get nasty combos. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But first, let's talk about the Magician card. Places a dark side decoy at your location, causes heavy bleeding on use. This can be quite fun. I don't know how effective it will actually be, since this card is very situational. The moment you use the card, a decoy is placed at your location. You can see the decoy on the ground and by that light shimmer in the air. On top of that, there's a very specific sound effect playing when you get close to the decoy. Now this decoy only works on enemy hunters when they use Darkside Boost. You yourself don't have to worry about anything, because when you use Darkside Boost, there won't be any orange decoy for you, only for the enemy. And if you want to get rid of it, just interact with it. Next, we have the Chariot card. Swaps locked and unlocked extraction points for all teams. Only in Bounty Hunt, destroys 1 health chunk. This ability has a 5-minute global cooldown and can't be used in the last 5 minutes of a mission. Now, during the Web of the Empress event, we have 1 extra extraction location, and that one is in the center of the map. It's a bit more exposed, and it can only be used after playing the Chariot card. Otherwise, the center extraction will always be locked. Keep in mind though, that an additional extraction is also locked. And by playing the Chariot card, you unlock the center extraction and swap the lock for the outer extraction. This might have some crazy PvP impact. People running away with the bounty token, you can't catch up, you play that card, and suddenly they are at an extraction that they can't use. And since there's a 5-minute global cooldown, they can't just play their own card to open up the extraction again. Now, a rather nasty card is the Devil card. Reduces sway and spread for weapons except shotguns until your hunter is downed. Then destroys an additional health chunk. The sway, yeah, okay, that is nice. Honestly, I used it, and while I did some sniping, I didn't feel much difference. However, and I think this is the kicker with the Devil card, the reduced spread for weapons, that is literally the Devil's work. That means you will have a tighter crosshair of fanning, dual wielding, and levering. Remember Crackshot? It's kinda back now with the Devil card. At least once you get downed, there's a heavy penalty by losing an extra bar. So when you play with 3 big bars, you're already down to your final one. And if the revive afterwards goes wrong, you're dead. Still, this card might be very annoying during the event. I was not really a huge fan of Crackshot, but let's see how everything will play out. Just ignore my RNG here, okay? Fanning, levering and dual wielding works best whenever the enemy is using it, am I right? Next, we have the Empress card. Grants Catalyst, Necromancer and 1 random burn or scarce trait. So Catalyst is back, but, and this will be the naughty thing about this, solo players can use this card to recharge their Necromancer. In case they get downed, they revive, they can play the Empress card, and they have another Necro charge. This will be maybe a bit annoying because, well, right now you kill a solo, they stand back up and you know they're dead for good. Once you finish them off again, obviously. Now, when you realize the solo stood up, skedaddled away for a couple seconds, he might have played the Empress card. So burning solos will be more important than ever. And that's coming from a solo player. Getting a random burn or scarce trait? Yeah, why not? This is definitely a strong card. And next we have the Garden card. That one gets rid of all negative effects. Burning, bleeding and poison. And heals you. And on top of all that, it does that for your whole team. I tried to provoke a little bit of bleed, poison and fire and see what the Garden card can actually do. Just be careful, one thing that you have to keep in mind, this is not a restoration effect, it's only healing. If you lost a bar for any reason, being that you got downed or lost it to fire, the Garden card will not restore the missing bar, it will only heal you. Still, that card can definitely save your butt in a dire situation. And now let's talk about a juicy card. That is definitely in my top 3. The Hanged Man card. Allows you to spectate the nearest enemy hunter for a limited time. They will hear a warning afterwards. So I tested that here with a few bots. You play the card and you can do that at the beginning of the match and it will jump to the nearest hunter. Now, it looks like there is no limited range when you play this card. I spawned at Blanchett Graves and saw people at Devon Ranch, which is pretty wild. I think it's okay to play one card at the beginning to see if there will be a spawn fight or not, but I will probably try to save them for later in the match when you have again this one annoying bush Wookiee hiding in a bush. Just keep in mind that the Hanged Man card needs a little bit of map knowledge, Because in case you have no idea what you're seeing in the dark side vision, the card does basically nothing for you. And then another straightforward card, that is the Moon card. Grants 2 seconds of dark side boost. Yeah, nothing more to say here, this is very simple. Just keep in mind when you're solo and you have Magpie, you get double the seconds. So I get 4 seconds as a solo, while I have Magpie with the Moon card. Now, the Moon card has a drawback though. Since you gained dark side, people can actually see that on the map. So be careful when you use this card. Alright, let's talk about the final card, and that's gonna be the Judgement card. So the Judgement card doubles all the buffs that are currently on your hunter. So regeneration, stamina, and antidote. However, the drawback of this card is that you will drop to 1 HP, so be careful. And you can do some fancy combos with that one. In the showcase clip that I recorded for you guys, I have Conduit as a solo. That means I get already double the stamina, then I take a regeneration shot and stamina shot combo, then I play the Judgement card. Yes, I drop down to 1 HP, but the regeneration shot takes care of that. And remember that I said that the Fool card can do some nice combos. Now I play a Fool card, which gives me another Judgement card, and then I can have massive regeneration stamina buff for basically the whole round. You can do other fun things, like for example you get a 4-shot boon, and then you play a Judgement card, and then you play another Fool card, or you know, in case you have it, you just play 2 Judgement cards, but maybe you don't have them. And that's it, we talked about all 12 cards. Don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section what you think about these cards. OP, not interesting enough, pretty cool, absolutely broken, I wanna hear it all. Now let's talk about the new AI, the Bileweavers. Once the Web of the Empress event starts, the map will drastically change. Spiderwebs start to cover the map. And some locations can even have these Bileweaver eggs. They can spawn at supply points, hunting towers, and many more locations. The eggs can be in plain sight, but sometimes they are at the ceiling. So be careful, because once you're close enough, they will hatch. When an egg explodes, it deals a little bit of proximity damage. You can also just destroy the eggs to avoid the Bileweaver to spawn. The eggs break through everything, you don't need a lot of damage. A single Bileweaver is not dangerous, but once multiple of them spawn, it can get a bit messy, especially during PvP. They do not have a lot of hit points, they die to most attacks. They can spit poison and jump at you. It gets really tricky in the Bileweavers Nest. This is the event compound for the Web of the Empress. So far we had the Murder Circus and the Fool's Hideout. And at the Bileweavers Nest there are a lot of eggs. And very often some Bileweavers already patrol the area. Keep your cool, and the first time you visit the compound, maybe don't rush in because you won't have a good time. But it's worth it, because the event rewards are located in the Bileweavers Nest. You can get the usual rewards, a sealed box for refilling your ammo and tools, a restoration medkit, a 4-shot boon, the master clue, hunter XP, scares and burn traits, and a dark side boost. So all the stuff that you're already used to. And there is now the Destiny style. In case you played the Murder Circus, it's the gambler slot machine. You can get trades, boons, money, and other rewards. We also have again event weapons. You need 3 pledge marks to open the weapon boxes. One weapon is the Wildland, a beefed up Centennial, and one weapon is the Homestead, basically a double barrel Romero. We're gonna cover the new weapons in a bit. On top of that, 3 random tarot cards spawn in the Bileweavers Nest. Just pick them up, they are free. You only need an open consumable slot. And that's not all. Remember the hunter pinned to the wall with spiderwebs? They work like a toolbox. Sweet! Now to interact with all the rewards you need again pledge marks. You get them by collecting event points. You get event points by looting hunters, taking event clues, and so on. You know the drill by now. There is one change though. To farm event points, you need to destroy Bileweaver eggs or kill Bileweavers. Every time you do that, you get 1 event point. So you can collect quite a bit at the Bileweaver Nest. For every 25 event points, you get 1 pledge mark. You can carry 6 in total. You can also collect pledge marks by looting them from downed hunters. What is really interesting, at least it worked that way during my recording sessions, the Bileweaver eggs respawn. I visited the nest, destroyed all eggs, and came back later just to realize that everything respawned. That also worked with eggs that I found at hunting towers. Nice, more event points for us. Additionally, with Shadow, you are completely safe in the nest. The only thing that will damage you are exploding eggs. So let's have a look at the first scarce weapon, and that's gonna be the Wildland. We're looking here at a beefed up Centennial. This thing deals more damage, has a longer barrel, has an improved magazine capacity with 32 bullets. It also has a swift reload mechanism. The spread is tighter than the regular Centennial, which makes levering with that beast quite effective. Also keep in mind that we have the Devil card, which will make the spread even tighter. So let's shoot that bad boy for a bit. When it comes to custom ammo, let me show you that real quick. We have FMJ, we have high velocity, we have poison ammo, and we have subsonic. While subsonic in my opinion is completely useless, the FMJ and the high velocity have crazy stats. Poison is something, I mean during the event I'm not a huge fan of poison ammo because of the 4-shot boons. So very often people are immune to the poison effect. But the FMJ and high velocity, they will be absolute bangers. Especially since the Wildland deals more than 125 damage. It can one-tap people who lost a small bar, which is crazy good considered the fire rate. So this one is strong and definitely worth to be picked up. One thing you have to keep in mind though is, at the end of the day, it counts as a Centennial. So you can find dum-dum rounds for that thing. So once you get the Wildland, I think looking for dum-dum ammo is your #1 priority. Because that combo will be a menace. And then the second scarce weapon that we have during this event is the Homestead. This one is very simple to explain. It's a double-barrel Romero. When we compare the stats from a regular Romero together with the Homestead, you can see, well, it's a double-barrel shotgun with Romero stats. And since the Romero, well, the main drawback of that thing is, well, it's a single-shot shotgun, this one turns it up a notch, like crazy. So in case you enjoy the double-barrel shotgun, but you're not super happy with, sometimes RNG the gun can be, maybe the Homestead is exactly the gun you're looking for. I tried different ammo types. Flechette can still not one-shot kill a player, because this is the first time we actually have a Romero stat shotgun with Flechette rounds. You deal 144 damage in the first bleed tick, will kill them, but you still need a headshot to insta-kill them. And yes, that 1 single second there can decide a match. I think where the Flechette really gets bonkers, it's at short to mid-range, because it packs an insane punch where buckshot normally would do nothing, and on top of that, you apply some bleed. How intense the bleed is depends on how many darts are hitting. 1 dart light bleed, 2 darts medium bleed, and 3 darts heavy bleed. Penny shot was surprisingly good. I do not like the spread of the crosshair though, it's really big. Penny shot can be good in PvP, but it's more RNG than regular buckshot. You have less projectiles, but they deal more damage. Penny shot is normally for killing AI. And on top of that, you can't wallbang with this ammo. Dragon Breath, well, Dragon Breath is Dragon Breath. It can one-tap once you're close enough, but at the end of the day, it's more a type of ammo that you pick, not because you want to win, it's because you want the other team to lose too. And then we have Slugs. I'm not a huge fan of Slugs anymore. since very often buckshot will kill you while you maybe hit the arm, and then you're gonna be sad. But I know a lot of you out there enjoy the slugs, and that thing can still deal a lot of damage, and you can turn it in a somewhat reliable 2-tap rifle. But again, is it really worth it? I think I will run this one mostly with buckshot. What you have to keep in mind though with the Homestead is that you can only pick one ammo type. I'm just saying this for clarification because I mentioned now very often Romero, and Romero can use 2 ammo types, well, in case you're not taking the Alamo. But when it comes to custom ammo, it behaves more like a rival shotgun. So what do we think about the new scarce weapon? Now of course I didn't play the guns on the live servers yet, but they feel really good. And I think what I like the most about them is that they don't cost a ridiculous amount of pledge marks. 3 pledge marks is a lot, but with 1 or 2 PvP engagements you can easily get that. So it's not like with back in the days when you had the Shredder that costed initially 9 pledge marks and then 5 that nobody picked it anymore. Because nobody wanted to spend the whole match just farming points for the pledge marks. And furthermore, the scarce weapons that we get right now are not broken. Yeah, sure, they're strong, don't get me wrong, they are just a buffed up Centennial. It's a buffed up Romero because now you have 2 shells. They are without a doubt very strong, but they're not as ridiculous as the Shredder that was just basically point in our direction and then proximity saw blades explode in the face and people just die, or you ricochet around corners. With that being said, bringing the Shredder back maybe without homing blades and without explosive blades, I think that would be cool, because at the end of the day it was a very unique weapon that fit the game. It was just ridiculously overtuned in my opinion. Because while I like the balance of the new scarce weapons, they are quote unquote just weapons that we already have. And also the question is, what will happen with these weapons once the event is over? Will they vanish again, like the Shredder, which is honestly a shame because they put a lot of work into these weapons, I assume, just for one event? Hopefully Crytek will share with us what their plans are with scarce weapons in the future. It would be a shame if they all go to waste. What do you think about this? Should bonkers weapons like the Shredder come back? Or do you like the Homestead and the Wildland more? Next up, let's discuss the powder keg. Long story short, it's a small red barrel that you can carry. It's not a tool, it's not a consumable, you need to find it during your match. There are quite a few, sometimes multiple of them in a single compound. I tried to fool around with it a little bit, and all the rules that apply for red barrels also apply to the powder keg. Alert trip mines and any fire will blow it up instantly, otherwise you need a 2-tap. Just don't put your keg in a box. I tried to conceal it a little bit, and that didn't work with an alert trip mine. But otherwise this combo works just fine. The powder keg is primed the moment it spawns, so you don't need to place it first for that thing to be ready. You see one, you can shoot it, and it goes kaboom. It's smaller though, so maybe Bulwark will save you from it? Nope. I mean, I lost an additional 25 due to the alert trip mine, but that thing just blew through Bulwark and still dealt 125 damage. Quite insane. While you carry it, it seems to disappear as an item. I think it only exists visually while you carry it. I ran through fire while holding it and it didn't blow up. Just don't put it down while you're standing in fire, that won't end well. I know, advanced rocket science. I think it follows the exact same rules as explosives or lanterns that you carry in your hand. It only counts as an object once it leaves your hand. Honestly, kind of a missed opportunity. Maybe it works. I wasn't able to test this sadly, but I'm pretty sure nothing will happen when you shoot it once somebody carries it. And I also did some testing with water. So the moment it's submerged or just standing in water, it will not blow up. So no, you cannot place powder kegs in the water at boat extractions. That will not work. You can still place them on top of the boat though, and then maybe snipe them with incendiary rounds. If people don't pay attention, might be a nice YouTube short. I will definitely farm some clips with the powder keg. And then we also have a trait change. Witness will change. Now, I'm a little bit sad about that, but I do understand why they're doing it. With this patch, Witness will no longer heal you. It is still a good trait because you can find dead bodies, you can see when people killed AI. It's still very good for getting intel. However, no more unlimited healing. And with that, I'm pretty sure Witness drops out of my must-have picks for fresh hunters. Let's talk about more balance changes. The Cyclone got a balance adjustment. Crytek reduced the muzzle velocity of it by 10%, and it has a slightly increased reload time, but not by much. I'm not really sure why they did that, because the only thing that makes the Cyclone annoying right now is that since they changed the damage multiplier for legs and arms, the Vetterli can 2-tap, no matter where they hit you. So the reduced muzzle velocity and the slightly increased reload time doesn't really tackle the issue that I have with the Cyclone, but yeah, sure, why not? I personally would still like to see them change the damage multipliers for legs and arms back to what it was before, but that will most likely not happen anymore. Another weapon that got a tiny balance adjustment is the Mako. So the Mako has now a reduced vertical recoil, and they adjusted the shot animation and the weapon switch speed to be more in line with other long ammo rifles. A tiny buff for the Mako, I understand. It's probably the long ammo rifle that gets picked the least. It's not that the Mako is bad, and you can do some fun builds with explosive ammo and levering, but otherwise the other long ammo rifles on average outperform the Mako. Let's see if the reduced vertical recoil will increase the pick rate. And here's a very nice quality of life. Right now, without any traits, you can find throwing weapons, your throwing knives, your throwing axe, or spear, by using dark sight, and they will glow. And that is great. And since we're talking already about throwing tools, how about we talk about throwing weapons? You do not need any traits anymore to throw world melee weapons. There's also a change with lanterns. Pickable lanterns can now be ignited when damaged by fire. But we have the same rule as with the powder keg. The lantern cannot be ignited while you're carrying it in your hand. And now it gets interesting because we come to some sound changes. Slugs have now a different sound effect, which makes it easier to tell apart buckshot from slugs. Let's just listen one more time to no slugs. And this is how the rifle, for example, sounds now with slugs. Also, the new army got a little bit of a rework, because the old new army sounds like shooting a tin can. And the new army sounds way better in my opinion. And then the user interface got a few changes. You probably saw that already in the clips. You can now check view last mission from the main screen by hitting G. And when you keep hitting G, you can also cycle through multiple screens. And I think it's a nice change to quickly access the info. And then a long requested feature, duos can now search for a random third teammate in trios. Finally, in a duo party, set your team to trios. And then the matchmaking button will change to find teammate. And as a solo, you will now be matched with other solos or with a duo. So it's really nice to see that finally in the game. There is also a new tab at the top of the screen now, called Career. And that Career tab has all the progression screens. Bloodline Prestige, the weekly challenges, Dark Tributes, the Hunter progression, and so on. Additionally, the equipment screen changed a little bit too. You can see now the trades and your loadout at the same time. And they also added a shortcut to clear all trades. Don't worry though, this cannot happen on accident, there's a confirmation pop-up. Now all these changes look nice, but honestly this is what I hope for. Please get rid of the bugs of the current user interface. And if you can do that, that will be so freaking amazing. And last but not least, you can finally cycle through all game modes from the main screen. So if you want to play now Sole Survivor or enter the shooting range, just hit the arrows until you are at the right game mode. And that's it for today. Once more, in case you enjoy these videos, don't forget to drop a like and maybe drop a sub, so we will be, you know, always up to date with hunt patches and hunt events. As always, a big shout out to my patrons. Thank you for supporting me over there. You guys are as always a big support and absolute legends. And then in case you want to see more Mike stuff, my Linktree. Just recently I posted again some pictures from hiking and other stuff, so in case you want to connect with me, you can check out the other platforms. And also maybe you will find something that you enjoy. And with that, as always, nothing more to say. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye bye.